Most men step into relationships thinking they've finally achieved something, that having a girlfriend means they're winning at life. They don't realize they've just entered a battlefield with no armor. Society has sold them a dream, love, loyalty, support, but the reality is much darker. The modern relationship is not built for the masculine man. It's built for leverage, control, and emotional dependency. You think she loves you for who you are, but in truth, she loves how you make her feel. And the moment that feeling fades, so does her loyalty. You could be everything she said she wanted, ambitious, kind, emotionally available, but if you hit a rough patch, if you stop being her dopamine supplier, her warmth turns into silence. Her smile disappears, she begins to drift, and you're left wondering what you did wrong. But it wasn't about doing wrong, it was about no longer delivering the emotional high she craved. That's the game. Loyalty today is based on conditions, not character, and if your value to her begins to slip, her attachment weakens. She won't tell you outright. She'll change gradually. Less interest, more distance, and eventually a quiet exit. And the worst part, you won't see it coming. Because you believe the words. You believe the promise. But women are loyal to their emotions, not your essence. So if you think love guarantees loyalty, think again. The relationship you think is built on connection is often just a reflection of her current feelings. And those feelings shift with time, pressure, and comparison. That's the hard truth. So when you build your life around the illusion of loyalty, you're building on sand. And when the storm comes, and it always does, she won't be there holding your hand. She'll be looking for higher ground. A relationship might feel like a win at first, but it slowly chips away at the man you used to be. You start to relax, thinking you've arrived. The grind slows. The edge dulls. The fire you once had begins to dim under the soft pull of comfort. It happens quietly. You skip a workout to spend time with her. You push a deadline to handle her mood swing. You trade the mission for the moment, convincing yourself it's balance. But it's not. It's slow erosion. You begin to lose the hunger that made you magnetic in the first place. You stop moving like a man on a mission and start existing as her emotional support system. And the more you give, the less you get. Because modern relationships reward softness, then punish you for being soft. She claps for your bare minimum while secretly losing respect for your lack of drive. You think you're doing the right thing being available, supportive, present, but what you don't realize is that you're becoming predictable. And in her eyes, predictability equals boredom. That's the trap. Comfort becomes your cage. You become the man she no longer craves because the man she first wanted, the focused, dominant, unapologetic version of you, is fading. You traded your ambition for attention. You gave up your mission to become her emotional crutch. And the longer you stay in that role, the harder it is to get back to who you were. Relationships today don't sharpen men. They soften them. They turn lions into lapdogs. And once she senses that the fire in you has cooled, she starts looking elsewhere for the man who still burns, who still leads, who hasn't forgotten that his mission comes first. And by the time you realize it, the damage is already done. Time is the most valuable thing a man owns, and the relationships with the wrong woman will drain it without mercy. You won't even notice it at first. It starts small. A few extra texts during the day, a random FaceTime while you're in the middle of work, a fight that eats up your entire evening. You think you're being a good partner. You think giving her your time means you're building connection. But slowly, it turns into a full-time job. Emotional check-ins, mood swings, reassurances, constant availability. And your mission, it gets pushed back. Your vision gets diluted. You stop running toward your goals and start walking carefully around her emotions. You'll delay projects, lose focus, and make space for chaos, disguised as closeness. And it never ends. Because modern women are not trained to build, they're trained to expect. She doesn't want to grow with you. She wants the results without the grind. The mansion, not the blueprint. The success, not the struggle. If you can't provide it immediately, her energy shifts. The admiration fades. Suddenly you're not enough. Not because you changed, but because you're not feeding her fantasy fast enough. And the worst part, you'll think it's your fault. You'll push harder, give more, invest deeper, and all she sees is a man who's losing himself trying to keep her interested. That's not partnership. That's emotional debt. And the longer you stay, the more you pay with your time, your energy, your drive. A man on a mission can't afford to leak focus, and the wrong woman will have you trading your legacy for temporary affection, wrapped in constant distraction. That's not love. That's a detour from your destiny. And one day, you'll realize you never needed her, you just needed clarity. There comes a point when you realize you've become more than just her partner. You've become her emotional punching bag. She won't show her insecurities on social media. She won't vent to her friends about the things that truly eat at her. No, she saves that for you, the man she expects to absorb it all without breaking. She dumps her anger, her fear, her doubts on you because you're the safe one, the steady one. And if you push back, you're labeled cold, toxic, dismissive. But if you stay silent, you're accused of not caring. You're trapped in a game you can't win. Every emotional outburst becomes your fault. Every bad day she has somehow traces back to something you said or didn't say. And slowly, your energy starts to shrink. Your peace dissolves. You begin to carry her emotional chaos on top of your own burdens, and no one claps for you. No one notices the weight you're holding, because the modern world doesn't allow space for male struggle. You're expected to take it, eat it, bury it. And when you finally open up, when you crack under pressure, her respect for you vanishes. Because despite all the talk about emotional availability, the truth is most women can't handle a man's vulnerability. They say they want honesty, but they respect strength. The moment you express real pain, she sees weakness. Not consciously, but instinctively. You stop being her rock and start being her liability. This is why so many men suffer in silence. Because expressing yourself doesn't bring you closer to her, it pushes her away. The modern relationship has no room for masculine pain. It only rewards emotional submission, and the man who tries to play that role ends up exhausted, emasculated, and alone while still in the relationship. When a man finally detaches from the need for a relationship, something powerful happens. He becomes untouchable. Not because he stops caring, but because he stops chasing. His energy shifts from seeking affection to cultivating discipline, from proving his worth to protecting his peace. And that shift, it changes everything. Women can feel it. The way you walk, the way you speak, the way you hold your silence, it all radiates certainty. You're no longer trying to earn a place in her life. You are the place. The man who is rooted in his mission becomes magnetic. Not because he's trying to attract, but because most men are too busy chasing validation to realize the power of being still. And women, whether they admit it or not, are drawn to stillness, to presence, to the man who doesn't flinch, doesn't beg, doesn't react. That's the frame they test for. That's what they crave, not your words, not your romantic gestures, your unshakable energy. But here's the twist. Most women aren't prepared for that kind of man. They're used to breaking weak frames, manipulating soft hearts, controlling men through chaos. So when you don't bite, don't bend, don't beg, they panic. They'll call you distant, unavailable, cold. But deep down, they feel something they can't deny: respect. And that respect turns into obsession. Not because you gave them what they wanted, but because you refused to be moved. The man who stands firm in a world addicted to reaction is rare. He becomes the standard. He doesn't fear losing her, he fears losing himself. And that fearlessness makes him unforgettable. So if you ever wonder why peace feels better than passion, it's because passion fades, but power stays. And a man, on purpose, never trades power for a temporary feeling, no matter how beautiful the illusion may be.